Well, Hashim makes reference there to the fact that this may not be universally welcomed by other governments because of the democratic approach of the Malian president. Well, in fact, a number of governments have already condemned the mutiny, the coup, the takeover, whatever you call it. Let's go to Bamako, the capital of Mali, talk to Niankoro Yeah Samake, a presidential candidate in elections planned for next month. I'll ask you in a minute whether you think they're going to go ahead. But first of all, you're in the capital. This is where it all happened. If you took a walk outside, I don't know whether it's curfew time yet, but if you took a walk outside, what would you find?
Well, if you took a walk outside, you will see soldiers driving around, making sure that everything is going all right. But ultimately, you can reach from point A to point B without too much trouble.
So when people suggest, as they do in these sort of situations, that there's tensions on the street, it doesn't seem as though that's the case where you are.
No, the capital city is very calm. Of course, you will hear gunfire here and there, but ultimately there has not been any attack on civilian in Mali, as far as I know.
And the president, do we know whether he's safe or where he is?
The president is safe, or he's said to be safe.
What chance do you think there is of those loyal to the president, and he has some very elite soldiers around him, we understand, trying to kick out the mutineers, to reverse this coup?
You know, as much as I strongly condemn the coup, and I condemn the coup just because it has just overthrew democracy. It just ended 20 years of democracy in Mali, and we are very saddened by it.
Well, do you think that...
I do not...
Sorry, I was going to say, do you think those loyal to the president will try to mount a counter-coup?
I don't believe that. I don't believe that is the case. And as the political leaders in the country are organizing themselves and offer a way out of this quagmire, I think that the country will come to unity very soon, and I strongly believe that.
Okay, so that seems to suggest that you're hopeful that the elections where you will be trying to become the next president could still go ahead.
We will require that the elections still go ahead, and as you have heard, the new leaders, they themselves are in the position that the election might be held. They are saying that it might take a little longer to get things ready, but we know for sure that democracy must go forward in Mali, and that is the stand that we have, and Malian people are behind that thought.
Have you been in touch with the leaders of the coup, with those responsible for the overthrowing of the president, to ask them for assurances about what might happen?
I have been in touch with most of the people in the political field. I have also reached out to some of the leaders. Of course, I talked to them over the phone and offered to reach out to the political community because this is a serious matter, that democracy is threatened, and that we do not need to go back in time for 20 years. We have to make sure that power is handed to the people of Mali, either in the form of democratic governance or unified governance. But this power must not stay in the hands of military.
So you've spoken to these people we can see on camera now, and they tell you that they're committed to going back to another form of democracy, just not with the current president at the helm.
They are very strong about making sure that the power goes back to democracy, and they have said this in their declaration on the national television. And we believe that the objective of this coup ultimately is to make sure that Mali is unified again. I don't think that these children of the country of Mali meant any harm to our democracy. There was an issue, and they might have thought that this is the way out. I strongly condemn them as a leader of the PACP and reach out to this army leader that together we can build a Mali that could be a beacon of democracy in West Africa. And we would call upon them that they can work with the political and civil society to make sure that the transfer of power can continue in the democratic process.
One final question to you, Mr. Samake, thank you very much for being on this program, by the way. The rebels, if we can call them that, the soldiers who took over the presidential palace and the TV station, they say they're really worried that the authorities in Mali just hadn't been taking seriously the rebellion in the north by the Tuaregs, that the army needed more support, more ammunition. Is that a concern shared, you think, by many people in your country?
It is. It is a concern within the political circle. It is a concern in the community. That's one of the reasons why there have not been yet a public outcry on the people who took power, because we believe that there has been a little bit of a lack of authority. I would say straight out, there have been lack of authority, and that must change. We could have waited 40 more days for the new government to take over and handle things differently. But now that we are in this situation, we can only work with the people who just took power and make sure that together that we are all concerned in building a Mali that is safe and unified with security all over the country.
Well, we hope you stay in touch with us, Mr. Samake, Niankoro Yeah Samake, one of the presidential candidates in Mali, still hoping for elections within a matter of a month or so. Good to have you on this news hour.
Thank you.